Welcome to the channel and welcome to this game of Age of Fantasy by One Page Rules. I had envisaged doing a game of Grimdark Future, but yesterday I had a game of Warlords of Erewhon against my son, and I really liked the table that I set up for it, so I figured I'd do a game of Age of Fantasy today. And I've been meaning to do a game with these guys for a while. This is the City Dwarfs army that I've got. This is all the miniatures I've got for City Dwarfs. So, starting at the back left, we've got a Sky Frigate that's been upgraded with bomb racks and a heavy sky cannon. Next to that I've got a Sky Gunboat, again upgraded with bomb racks. Next to them I've got a unit of 3 Balloon Wardens. We've got in there a volley rifle, a drill cannon and sky mines. Now the way it's listed on the army list, I think I can only take one of those upgrades, so either a volley rifle or a drill cannon. But the way I built models, they've got each, so yeah, I'm playing them with both. And then I've got 2 units of identical crew, so 10 models in each, 10 crew. And as I say, they're identical. In there we've got 1 model with a pike and 1 model with a volley rifle and hand weapon, as well as a drill rifle. The unit to the left of the screen is being led by an admiral. He's just standard as he comes. The unit on the right is being led by an engine master, and he's got an I-beam upgrade and a repair upgrade, which means once per turn, if he's within 2 inches, it says of a unit with tough, but that could be one of the characters, so I'm going to say it only applies to the Sky Gunboat and the Sky Frigate. He can, on a roll of 2+, he can repair 1 wound taken to one of those vessels. However, he's quite slow and he's not going to be embarked within the transport. So the frigate has got a transport capacity of 11, and the crew with the admiral is going to be embarked upon the frigate. But yeah, the engine master is slow, so he might not be able to keep up, but he's there because I've got the model. And then finally, in the middle at the front, I've got a unit of 5 gunners with shed load of upgrades. So in there we've got a flame rifle, an organ rifle, a double barrel sky rifle, a cannon rifle, a mortar rifle, and the chap with the double barrel sky rifle has also got a mechanical parrot. And they are being accompanied by a chemist, and he's got the augment upgrade, which means him and his unit get +1 to shooting rolls. So that is 1,120 points of City Dwarfs using version 2.8 of the army list book. I'm going to be using the full version 2.2 of the AI rules for this game, and this is going to be the AI army. So these are Rift Demons, specifically Rift Demons of War, and they are being led by a Champion of War, this chap here, and he's being accompanied by Blood Warriors, so 10 Blood Warriors. The Champion of War has got the Symbol of War upgrade, Symbol of War 4+. So when he's activated on a 4+, an enemy unit within 18 inches takes 3 hits at AP2. I need to try and remember that, because that's one of the things I'm probably going to forget. The unit of Blood Warriors, they've got a Sergeant upgrade, a Banner of War upgrade, which gives them impact 1 when they charge. So the way I interpret that is each model gets an impact, because otherwise 45 points for 1 automatic hit seems a bit excessive. So each model, when they charge, will get an impact hit. Yeah, Banner of War, and a Musician upgrade as well. We've got a Cannon Chariot towards the back, standard as it comes. We've got 5 Bloodhounds with spiked collar upgrades, which again gives them impact 1. And then finally we've got a unit of 3 Brass Beast Riders, again with a Sergeant upgrade and a Battle Standard upgrade. There is a Musician in there as well, but points wise I'm already 5 points more than the Dwarfs, so yeah, the Musician hasn't actually got his horn. But that is 1,125 points of Rift Demons using version 2.9 of their army list book. Now the D6s next to them, with the new version of the AI rules, you have to divide the army up into equal sections, and I was quite surprised actually. There's only 4 units there, because the Champion of War is going to be deployed with the Blood Warriors, so that's only 4 units for 1125. I had to go back and double check the points values for everything, including the City Dwarfs, because there's a lot fewer models and a lot fewer units. But yeah, 4 units there. for 1125 points. So I rolled for them, and that's the way I got. So we divided it up as evenly as I can. So in Division 1 we've got the Brass Beast Riders. In Division 2 we've got the Cannon Chariot and the Bloodhounds, and in Division 3 we've got the Champion of War with his Blood Warriors. So that's the AI army. Let's move on to the mission and deployment. And at this stage in the edit I realised I forgot to tell you what everything is classified as AI units. So short version, everything is a melee unit except the cannon, which is a shooting unit. I did contemplate making the cannon a hybrid unit, but as I say, I'm doing it strictly rules as written for the AI rules, and in my opinion the shooting attack is better than the melee attack, so therefore it should be a shooting unit. Okay, we're all deployed and set up, and the action is going to take place on the outskirts of this village. We've rolled for 4 objectives, and we've got one in the centre, which is where I like to have one. The AI deployed one here, near to this deployment zone. There's one over in that corner on the top left of the screen, and one in the centre of the village itself. And the way the AI deployment works now is I have to deploy my entire army, and then we deploy the AI force. And I did a slight change to what I said in the army overview. So the Admiral has deployed with his crew on the ground, and the Engine Master is in the frigate. Now for the AI, you randomly roll for which sector. You split the battlefield up into 3 sectors, and you randomly roll to see which division will be in which sector. And nice and neatly enough, Division 1 is in Sector 1, Division 2 is in Sector 2, and Division 3 is in Sector 3. That worked out quite nicely. Right, and because I finished deploying first, I get to go first. So we're going into turn 1, and it will be the Sky City Dwarfs first activation. For the first activation, I've activated the frigate, and that's got the fast rule, so it can move 9 inches, whereas everything else, well, everything that's on foot for the dwarves has got the slow ability. But yeah, the things that can fly, I think, have got the fast ability. Certainly the frigate has. So that has advanced forwards, and it is going to shoot its heavy cannon at the demonic cannon, the Cannon Chariot, because it's the only weapon it's got in range. It's got some carbines, but they're only 12-inch range, whereas the cannon is 24, so it's just within range of the Cannon Chariot. So we get 1 shot, which will hit on a 4. That's a 5, so that's hit. And it's blast 3, so that becomes 3 hits in total. These are AP 4. The Chariot's got a 2+ defense, so we're going to be saving on 6s. So 3 saves needing 6s, and that's 3 fails, so that is 3 wounds inflicted on the Chariot. It is tough 6, but it's now been reduced to half its toughness, so it will need to take a morale test. And it's got a 3-up quality, so on 3+, it'll be fine. Yep, that's a 5. Didn't roll it on the camera, but yeah, that's a 5, so that's a pass. But it has taken 3 wounds, so it's down to half health. First activation for the Demons. First of all, we roll to see which sector is going to activate. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's Sector 1. So we would then need to roll to see which unit within that sector activates, but there is only 1 unit, so it will be these guys, the Brass Beast Riders. Now they are a melee unit, so they are simply going to rush towards the nearest uncontrolled objective. And I need to do some measuring, because that objective, objective 1, and the objective over by the dwarf deployment zone look to be fairly equidistant. I think the one in the centre is a bit further away. So I'll measure up, see which one is the closest objective, and then the Brass Beast Riders will rush towards it. Now see, that was a little bit of a boo-boo on my part, because technically you're supposed to deploy them close to an objective, and I just put them smack in the middle of this sector here. But they should have been further this way, because they can get closer to that objective than that one over there, and this one is the closest objective. But there's all this lot down here, so I am going to rush them towards that objective over there, objective 3, near the dwarf deployment zone. Turns out that was the correct thing to do, because as you'll see later, I deployed the Bloodhounds wrong as well, so that objective towards the centre of their deployment zone should already be under their control. So they are fast and they've rushed forwards. They're 18 inches, moving around the terrain, avoiding the difficult ground there from the swampy marsh. The Sky Gunboat has headed over this way in response to the Brass Beast Riders. I did originally think about hopping it up onto the top of that rock that it's currently sat next to, and again try and shoot at the cannon chariot, try and see if we can finish it off, but it can't get in range. So I brought it this way and it's going to fire its, what's it got? A Sky Cannon and 2 Sky Carbines into the Brass Beast Riders. So the Sky Cannon is 1 shot, which will hit on a 4. Bang my head on the light. That's a hit on a 5. And this is Blast 3, but it's only AP 2. Brass Beast Riders have got a defense of 2+, so this will take it to 4s. And that is 2 fails. So 2 2s and a 5 rolled. Now these are tough 3 each, so that will take 1 down to 1 wound left. Pop that there. And then 2 shots from the carbines, hitting on 4s. Both hit. No AP on these. Oh no, there is. There's AP 1, so saving on 3s. And 1 fail, so that will finish off one of the Brass Beast Riders. So we'll take the Hornblower out because he's not WYSIWYG. Next activation for the Demons. Now there's nothing left to activate in that sector, so technically on a 1 through to a 4 it'll be something in this sector, and on a 5 or a 6 it'll be the Blood Warriors. There we go, it's the Blood Warriors. Right, so again they are going to rush towards the nearest uncontrolled objective, and they are now within 3 inches of that objective, so they are now currently holding that objective. For my next activation, the Admiral and his crew are going to advance towards the objective just outside their deployment zone and then shoot at the Brass Beast Riders. Right, they are slow, so they've only moved 4 inches, and because of that and this rock, only half the unit can see one of the Brass Beast Riders. So I'm going to say that the Brass Beast Riders get the benefit of cover, because yeah, only half of my unit can see half of their unit. We'll start things off with the pistols from the crew. They are quality 4+, so this will be 5s, and this 7 pistols. So that's only 2 hits. Defense 2+, with no AP, so they both save. 3 shots from the volley rifle, hitting on 5s. That's 1 hit. This is AP 1, so a 3-up save, which passes. There's a drill rifle, 1 shot, hitting on a 5, which hits. This is AP 4, so I need a 6 to save, which fails, and this is deadly 3, so that's 1 dead outright. So we'll take the banner bearer off. And then finally we've got 3 shots from the Admiral's volley pistol. Now he's quality 3+, so he'll be hitting on 4s. That's 1 hit. No AP, so 6 is definitely a save. Right, now the Brass Beast Riders are down to half their starting size, so they'll need to take a quality test, a morale test of 3+. That's a slightly cocked, but we'll say that's a 4, so they pass. For all the Rift Demons, we've only got these 2 units left. They're in the same sector, so we'll simply say odds, it'll be the Bloodhounds. Evens, it'll be the cannon. Evens, it's the cannon. It's a shooting unit, so it's going to advance towards the nearest uncontrolled objective and then shoot at the nearest unit, which will be the frigate. Okay, so it hasn't managed to move very far because it can't get around those Bloodhounds. So it has moved slightly, and it's now going to shoot at the frigate. It gets 1 shot, quality 3+. That's a hit. Now it's blast 3, so that turns into 3 hits, and it's AP 4. The frigate has got a 2-up defense, so it'll be saving on 6s. 3 saves needed. None of them hit, so that is 3 damage on the frigate. It's tough 9, so it's got 6 left. Right, the balloon wardens have advanced, and I kind of had to advance them because some of them have got only a 12-inch range, so that does put me in charge range of those blood warriors, because they're probably going to survive this shooting, but I'm just trying to whittle down the blood warriors a bit. Now then, I said I would forget that when you activate the champion, that he gets to do stuff on a 4+, but it's only got an 18-inch range, and there was no enemy units within 18 inches of him when I activated him. So remember that for next time, because there's probably going to be enemy units within 18 inches of him next time he activates. But for now, I'm going to start things off with the volley rifle, and I'm going to say that they're not going to get the benefit of cover. We can see them because this is a flying unit. That's the way I'm going to do it. 3 shots from the volley rifle, hitting on 4s. That's 2 hits on 6s. And the blood warriors are going to need 6s to save because they've only got 5 up save, and these are AP 1. So 2 dead. 1 shot from a drill cannon on a 4 is a hit. Need another 6 to save, which is a fail, so that's a 3rd one dead. And then finally 1 pistol shot on a 4. Ooh, that is a hit, that's a 6. Now for some reason this pistol is AP 1, so again a 6 to save, and that's a fail. So that's 4 dead blood warriors. Not quite enough to get them down to half strength. And if it was me being shot at, I would take him off from the back, so that's what I've done to make it fair. And the only unit left to activate for the demons is this unit of bloodhounds. They are simply going to rush past objective 1 but stay within 3 inches of it en route to that objective in the centre. Okay, slight correction there. Yeah, when I deployed the bloodhounds, I didn't deploy them correctly. Objective 1 is literally on the edge of the deployment zone, and so those bloodhounds should have been deployed as close to it as they possibly could, so they should have literally been on top of it, just on the edge of it. So with the AI, they already count as having now controlled that objective because they've been next to it. So they've rushed past objective 1, and they are now, effectively I've corrected a mistake. I redeployed them closer to it, and they've now rushed past objective 2 in the middle, so they are now on objective 2. So that is the last activation for the demons. There is actually another slight mistake there. They were in rough terrain, and they don't have strider, so they should have only moved a maximum of 6 inches, but we'll let it go. The chemist and the gunners have advanced, and they're going to shoot at the bloodhounds. We're going to start things off with the chemist. He's got his augment ability, which gives him +1 to shooting. He's got a chem rifle, affectionately known as the fart gun, because it looks like a fart gun from Despicable Me, and it gets 6 shots at a 12-inch range, and he's going to be hitting on 2s, but any 6s to hit are poison, so any 6s to hit become 3 hits. Okay, no 6s, but that is 5 hits. Bloodhounds have got a 4 up save. There's no AP on these. So that's 3 fails. So that's 1 dead bloodhound, because they're tough 3. So we'll take that one away. None of the weapons that the gunners are armed with have got deadly, so which is just as well, because you should really have fired them first. So we'll just start at the top of my list and work down. We've got a flame rifle, which is 6 shots, 12-inch range, ordinarily hitting on 4s, but courtesy of the chemist, hitting on 3s. Now you see there's a 6, but that's only 3 hits. Now this is AP 1, so 3 up saves for the hounds. Saves them all. No. 5 up saves for the hounds, so fails 2. So one of them has taken 2 wounds. We'll take it on that one there. Just put that there for now as a temporary wound marker, so I know it's taken 2 wounds. Next up we've got an organ rifle. This is 12 shots, only 12-inch range, but 12 shots hitting on 3s. And 1, 2, 3 misses. No AP on these, so oops. 4 up saves. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fails. So that will kill off the 1 and 2 wounds left and take another one out. Double barrel sky rifle is 2 shots, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, AP 1, so saving on a 5, that's a fail. So 1 wound taken on one of the hounds. Cannon rifle is 1 shot, hitting on a 3. Which hits, but this is blast 3, so that turns into 3 hits at AP 2, so 6 is to save. None of them, so that will kill the 1 and 1 wound and put 1 wound on the last remaining hound. And then finally we've got a mortar rifle, which is 1 shot, which hits, which is also blast 3, but no AP on these, so 4 up saves. The mortar rifle is an indirect weapon, so it's -1 to your hit rolls when you shoot with it after you move, but seeing as I rolled a 6, that's an automatic success anyway, so that's absolutely fine. Oh, it is indirect. But either way, that's 1 fail. And so that's taken 2 wounds, and then we've also got the mechanical parrot. So this is 3 attacks, all of which hit, AP 1, so 5 up saves. Yeah, that's a dead hound. So that is the unit of bloodhounds wiped out. That's a 305 point unit just taken clean out by a 115 point unit. And then for my last activation, the engine master with his crew have got out. They can only move up to 6 inches when you disembark from a transport, but they're slow, so they can only move up to 4 inches in the first place. So they've simply got out as an advance so that they're on the objective, and now the engine master is going to try and repair the frigate. Now it doesn't say at what point during the activation you do this, it just says you can do it once per turn. So on a 2+, like that, they repair 1 taken wound, 1 wound that's been taken on the frigate. So I need to remember I'm counting up, so it's taken 2 wounds instead of 3. And that will be my last activation for the turn. Right, well that's the end of one of the most eventful turn 1s I've ever had in a game of Age of Fantasy, but I suppose that's what happens when you put a melee army up against a ranged army. So at the end of turn 1, the demons are in control of objective 1 and objective 3 in the village, and the Sky City Dwarves are in control of the central objective and the objective by the barrow, the grave barrow. And the demons have taken heavy casualties. They've completely lost the bloodhounds, they've lost 2 of the brass beast riders, and they've lost 4 from the blood warriors. So yeah, all things considered, they've probably lost about a third of their army points wise. So yeah, so we go into turn 2. The demons will get the first activation because they finished activating first. Okay, so first activation for turn 2 will be the demons. So I'll roll a d6. On a 1-2 it will be the last remaining brass beast rider, 3-4 the cannon, 5-6 the blood warriors. It's the beast rider, so he is simply going to charge the admiral with his crew with a view of getting close to that objective. Okay, first up it is impact 3, so the unit's going to take 3 automatic hits. The crew get a 5 up save, so saving on 5s. So that's 1 save and 2 dead. So we'll take 2 regular guys from the back. And then The one that's left is a sergeant. The brass beast rider that's left is a sergeant. He's furious, so he gets an additional attack. We're going to put that on the hand weapon, so he's going to get 2 attacks with his hand weapon, +1 to hit because he's a sergeant, so he'll be hitting on 2s. Both of those hit. 6s are nothing special, and these are AP2, so saving on 6s for the dwarves. Nope, so that's 2 more dead. And then 3 attacks from the hooves from the brass beast itself, hitting on 2s. Everything hit. These are AP1, so again, saving on 6s. 1 save, so 2 more dead. So that's 6 dwarves dead. Imagine what it would have been like if all 3 of them had got into combat. So now the remaining dwarves will get to fight back. There's only 4 of them plus the admiral left. So in there we have got the admiral. We'll start things off with the admiral. He gets 3 attacks. He will be hitting on 3s with his great weapon. Everything hit. His great weapon is AP2, so 4 up saves, 2 save, 1 fail, so that's 1 win taken on the brass beast rider. There is a pike, which is 1 attack, which will hit on a 4, which misses. And then we've simply got 3 hand weapons, which will hit on 4s, and they'll miss. So the brass beast rider has failed to destroy the unit. Oh, hang on, before we do that, morale test, because the dwarves are down to less than half their starting strength, so we need to take a morale test on a 3+ using the admiral's morale leadership quality. So that's 3, so they pass. So now, but they are wavered, and now the brass beast rider has to fall back an inch. So yeah, that was pretty brutal. As I say, imagine what would have happened if all 3 of those brass beast riders would have got in contact with them. For my first activation, I'm going to activate the balloon wardens. They're going to advance towards that objective in the middle of the village and then shoot at the blood warriors again, see if we can't whittle them down or at least get them to be wavering. Start things off with a volley gun, 3 shots hitting on 4s. That's only 1 hit, AP1, so 6 up save, which is a fail, so 1 dies. 1 shot from the pistol, which hits, AP1, so a 6 up save, fails, so another 1 dies. And then finally the drill cannon misses. So now that unit of blood warriors is below half its starting size, so if they need to take a morale test, they can use the, well, it doesn't really matter which quality they use, it's going to be a 3+. That's pass, so they're not wavered, which is what I was hoping for. I was hoping that they would be wavered, but hey ho. Next, Demons activation. So just like last turn, because everything over on sector 1 has activated, on a 1 through to a 4 it'll be the cannon, and on a 5 or a 6 it will be the blood warriors. That's definitely cocked. It looks like it would have been a 6, but that's definitely cocked. That's 4. So it will be the cannon. It will move towards the nearest uncontrolled objective, and it's supposed to avoid rough terrain. Now, by virtue of the fact that the blood warriors, sorry, the blood hounds weren't slowed down by that terrain, I'm going to say it's not rough, so it can just simply move through it. I think that's the only fair and consistent way to do it. The bloodhounds weren't slowed down by it, so the cannon chariot isn't going to be slowed down by it either. It's going to move towards objective 2 in the centre and then shoot at the dwarf crew that's currently sat on it. Okay, so it gets 1 shot, hitting on a 3, which is a hit. It's blast 3, so that turns into 3 hits. AP 4, so this will need 6s to save. Nope, so that's 3 dead dwarves. And now on to the dwarfs activation. That unit is still above half strength, so it doesn't need to take a leadership test, a morale test. For my activation, the frigate has moved over slightly. It's going to, well, moved over slightly. It's moved its 9 inches, and or as far as it can get without being straddling the top of the wall, which I suppose technically it could do, but then it would look derpy and the model would be all skew-if. But because of that, only the big gun is in range. I could be a bit gamey and say, well, technically it's on top of the wall, so the carbines can shoot as well. But yeah, I'm just going to say the big cannon can shoot. So this will be one shot, which will hit on a 4. And that's a 5. So even if we give the Demons the benefit of cover, that would still be a hit. It's blast 3, so that's 3 hits. And AP 4, so 6 is to save. Nope, that's 3 more dead demons. Let's leave the sergeant, I think. Oh no, the sergeant's already gone. Let's leave the hornblower. So again, the units suffered casualties. They're less than half strength, half the starting strength, so another morale test needed on a 3+, which they pass again. The only unit left to activate for the Demons is the Champion of War with the Blood Warrior. So as he's activating, I'll remember that he's got a symbol of war, which is 4+, and that's a fail. So I remember it and it doesn't do anything. Right, so they're going to charge the Balloon Wardens. Now the Balloon Wardens have got Sky Mines, which gives them the Phalanx rule. So now I roll a d6 for each model in the charging unit, up to however many there are in the unit being charged. Now there's only 2 models in the charging unit, so I would roll 1 for each, and any rolls of a 1 would be an automatic wound on the Blood Warriors. Nope, they're good. So the Sky Mines didn't do anything, the Symbol of War didn't do anything. So now the Demons get to fight. Now to say the Sky Mines didn't do anything is not entirely accurate, just thinking about it, because it gives them the Phalanx ability, and the Phalanx ability negates any charging bonuses that the charging unit gets. So in the case of the Demons, the Champion of War and the Blood Warriors have got the Furious rule, which gives them an extra attack when they charge. So Phalanx negates that, so they don't get their extra attacks. So we'll start things off with the Champion. He just gets 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. And everything misses. There's a 1 and 2 2s. The last remaining Blood Warrior gets 1 attack, which hits on a 4. This is AP 2, so we need a 6 to save, which fails. And the Balloon Wardens are tough 3, so one of them takes 1 wound and then they can fight back. Okay, and just double checking the army book, because only one of those models is modelled with a pike. The other 2, one's got a volley rifle, one's got a drill rifle, or yeah, drill cannon. And yeah, I would have thought that the 2 with the special weapons would have close combat weapons and not pikes, but that's not what the options are saying, the way I'm looking at the army list. So it looks like all 3 have still got pikes, because you simply replace the pistol with either the volley rifle or the drill cannon. Doesn't say anything about replacing the pike with a close combat weapon. So yeah, 3 pikes hitting on 4s, and everything missed. So that was kind of academic. So we need to take a morale test on the Dwarves, because they lost the combat. That's a 2, so they fail. So they are now wavering, which means they can't contest that objective anymore. So the Demons will fall back an inch, and are now technically still in control of that objective, because the Balloon Wardens are wavering, therefore they cannot contest the objective. With all the Demon units activated, I'm now free to activate the Dwarfs with impunity, and we'll start things off by activating this unit of crew with the Admiral, and they're simply going to remove their wavering and marked as activated. That's them done. And now we're going to activate the Sky Gunboat. He's going to shoot at that last remaining Brass Beast Rider with 1 wound left. No, he's taken a wound, he's got 2 wounds left. So we'll start with the Sky Cannon, which will hit on a 4, like that. It's blast 3, so that's 3 hits. AP 2, so 4 up saves. Fails 1, so it's taken 2 wounds. And then we've got 2 carbines hitting on 4s. 1 hits. AP 1, so 3 up save, which passes. Now, I'm going to say it now needs to take a leadership test, because it's technically a single model now, and it's taking wounds and it's less than half health. So we need a 3 up morale test, which passes. But that is the Sky Gunboat activated. The engine master and his crew have moved forwards, they've advanced, they're 4 inches, and they're going to shoot at the cannon chariot. Now the engine master himself is out of range with his I-beam, but the pistols, the volley rifle and the drill rifle are all in range. Before we do that, I'm going to see if the engine master can take a wound off the Sky Frigate. So on a 2+, yep, only just. The Sky Frigate is down to having only taken 1 wound. Then onto the shooting, we've got 4 pistols, which will hit on 4s. 1 hit. 2 up save. Passes. Right. The volley rifle is 3 shots, hitting on 4s. 2 hits. AP 1, so saving on 3s. Both save. And then drill rifle, 1 shot hitting on a 4, which hits. AP 4, so saving on a 6. That's not a save, and it's deadly 3, so that will finish off the cannon chariot. The gunners with the chemist have advanced, and they're going to shoot at the demons in the centre of the village. Now, because they're not up against that stone wall, I will give the demons benefit of cover. If the dwarves have managed to make it right up against the stone wall, I would say that the demons don't get the benefit of cover. But yeah, they're only got 4-inch move. So, in terms of weapons in range, or rather weapons out of range, because of the way the formation is currently formed, some of the weapons are out of range. So the mechanical parrot is out of range, the organ rifle is out of range, and the chemist's fart gun is also out of range. And the benefit of cover is going to negate the chemist's augment ability, so they will be hitting on 4s when they shoot. So we'll start things off with the flame rifle, because that is in range, but only just. That's this one here, so he's only just in range. So 6 shots hitting on 4s, 2 hits. Now technically we've got 5 up save in that unit still, because there's still one of the general blood warriors left, and this is an AP 1, so 6 up saves needed, and both of those fail. So the last remaining blood warrior is killed, and the champion takes a wound, but the champion is tough 3, so he's got 2 wounds left. Next up we've got the double barrel Sky Rifle, which is on here. That's an 18-inch range, so it is in range. 2 shots hitting on 4s. Both miss. Cannon Rifle is 1 shot hitting on a 4, which hits. So that's blast 3, so it results in 3 hits. At AP 2, this will be 6s to save on the champion, because he's got 4 up defense. So he is now dead. So that's that flank cleared, but we still don't hold that objective as the dwarves, because the unit of Bloom Wardens that's next to it is wavering, so can't control the objective. Right, so that is all the activations for turn 2. So let's have a quick overview of the battlefield going into turn 3. So at the end of turn 2, there's only 1 model left for the demons, and that is that solitary brass beast riding sergeant over there. That said, they're still winning, because they still control this objective, because the dwarves haven't taken it off them yet. They still control that objective, because again the dwarves have not taken it off them yet, because that unit of Balloon Wardens is wavered. The Sky Dwarfs do control that objective in the centre, but at the moment this objective over here is contested. So the demons hold 2 objectives, the Sky Dwarfs only hold 1 objective, but we've still got 2 full turns to go. and the demons will get to activate first, but I doubt they'll be able to hold those objectives for long. I think it's just a matter of time. Going into turn 3. Start of turn 3, demons go first because they finished activating first in the last turn, and by virtue of the fact it's the only model left for the demons, it is simply going to charge the dwarfs with the admiral. Starting with 3 impact hits, so 5 up saves needed on the dwarfs. Do it down here so you can see it. Saves 2, so only one of them dies. We will take this chap. 2 attacks from the rider's hand weapon, hitting on 2s, because he's a sergeant. Both hit. 6s to save. 1 save, so 1 more to remove. We'll take that chap. And then 3 attacks from the hooves. 3 hits. 6s to save. Saves 2, so 1 more dies. So that will leave the pikeman with the admiral to fight back. We'll start with the admiral because he's most likely to get this done. 3 attacks, hitting on 3s. Yep. 2 hits. These are AP2, so 4 up saves. 1 wound to get through. Both of them fail. So fail to save, that is. So the brass beast rider is dead. And with that, I simply skipped through a couple of activations. This unit of crew with the engine master rushed forwards onto this objective. The unit of balloon wardens simply removed their wavering marker and marked themselves as activated to claim that objective. So the demons are vanquished from this peaceful village area, and the Sky City Dwarves are holding all 4 objectives. So a relatively quick game. Yeah, probably not the best example of how the new AI rules work by putting a purely melee, well, pretty much purely melee army up against a pretty much purely shooting army. But I wanted to give the Sky City Dwarves a try, and let's face it, in Age of Fantasy, most of the armies are predominantly melee based, except for these guys. Yeah, it was interesting. There was a few mistakes made with deployment wise. And I wanted to do a game using the new AI rules because people have been asking for it. And yeah, I'm still not a huge fan, if I'm perfectly honest. I would much rather try and play both sides as objectively as I can. And that way you're avoiding pre-programmed stuff that doesn't necessarily make sense. I know there is an overriding rule that says do what makes sense, but I find you do that quite a lot. You tend to do what makes sense. So yeah, I would much rather do what makes sense anyway and just try play both sides objectively. But yeah, that was that game. Sky City Dwarves against the Demons. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, it wasn't a bad game to play. I'm a bit disappointed I didn't get to use my bomb racks on my sky vessels, fly over something and drop bombs on them. I could have done that over here, except the crew finished off that last brass beast rider before I got the chance. Yeah, some tough little nuggets in here. But yeah, the shooting can be quite devastating, although again, this thing only ever fired its cannon, the frigate only ever fired its cannon, never got to fire its carbines. The smaller one got to do a fair amount of shooting, but neither sky vessel managed to use its bomb racks. The gunners, the shooting off the gunners when buffed by the augment from the chemist, that is pretty devastating, as those demon hounds can attest. Yeah. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Please continue to like, comment and subscribe, and until next time, stay safe. God bless.